Class 11th, Subject Physics, 9th chapter Optics. From the chapter, let us see lens makers equation. So this equation gives the relation between refractive index of material of the lens n, the focal length of the lens f, and the radii of curvature of its surfaces r1 and r2 for a given thin lens. So in order to obtain this lens makers equation, let us consider a thin lens having two surfaces A and B. P represents pole of that lens, which will be common for both A as well as B surface. Then let C1 be the center of curvature for this first surface A, and C2 be the radius of curvature for this second surface B, so that R1 will represent radius of curvature for first surface A and R2 will represent radius of curvature for second surface B. Then an object will be placed at point O along the principal axis of the lens. Then its first image due to the first refraction due to only the first refracting surface at I1, so that Phi1 will represent the image distance for the refraction due to first surface. So for first refraction, object distance will be u and image distance will be Phi1. Now in the presence of this second surface, when the second refraction takes place, the image will be formed at point I, and therefore this I1 will act as the virtual source for this second surface, and therefore the object distance u will be equal to Phi1 and its image will be formed finally at point I, therefore Phi will be the image distance. So if you consider the axial ray OP, it will travel without any deviation along the principal axis, but the paraxial ray, that is OA, when it is striking that lens, at that time, in the absence of the second surface, only one refraction will take place, and so that this ray of light OA after refraction will travel along AI1, and therefore this AI1 will now reach at this point I1, it will strike it at I1 forming the image, and therefore OP distance will be taken as u, that is object distance, and PI1 will be taken as image distance in the absence of the second refracting surface B, and therefore in the absence of second refracting surface, we can have the values n2 is equal to n, n1 is equal to 1, r will be equal to r1, u equal to u, and v equal to Phi1, because from this, when the second refracting surface is absent, at that time due to only first surface refraction will take place. The refractive index of this lens is n. Refractive index of this medium, that is air, will be equal to 1, and therefore n1 will be equal to 1, n2 will be equal to n. n1 equal to 1, n2 is equal to n. Radius of curvature r will be equal to r1, that is radius of curvature of the first surface, A surface. Then object distance is u, image distance equal to Phi1. Now we can use here the formula for the refraction due to a single curved surface, that is, which is stated as n2 minus n1 upon r equal to n2 upon phi minus n1 upon u. n2 minus n1 upon r equal to n2 upon phi minus n1 upon u. Now putting all these values in this relation, we will get for the first refraction, that is refraction due to single curved surface A, that is n minus 1 upon r1 equal to n upon phi1 minus 1 upon u, equation number 1. Similarly, now if you consider the presence of the second surface B, instead of absence, suppose that surface B is now present. Now when that B is present here, due to first surface image is formed at I1, this will now act as virtual source for this second surface B, and its image will be formed after refraction at point I. And therefore, in this case, in the presence of the second surface B, I1 will act as virtual source and I will act as its final image. Therefore, this phi1 will be taken as the object distance u, and this phi will be considered as the image distance phi. Now, the refraction is due to the second surface B having its radius of curvature r2, and therefore r will be equal to r2. So, in the presence of this second surface B, we can write n1 equal to n, n2 equal to now 1, because here due to the second surface, the ray of light will first travel through this medium having refractive index n1 equal to now n. Here it will be n2, which is equal to 1, and therefore again using the same relation, that is n2 minus n1 upon r equal to n2 upon v minus n1 upon u, we can write for this second refraction 1 minus n upon r2. For simplicity, we will write it as n minus 1 upon minus r2, n minus 1 upon minus r2. This will be written like this. That will be equal to 1 by v minus n by phi1, 1 by v minus n by phi1, equation number 2. So, adding equation 1 and 2, we can write, if we add left side, that is n minus 1 upon r1 and n minus 1 upon minus r2, then n minus 1 will be taken common, so that n minus 1 into 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. So that will be equal to sum of right hand side terms. Here it is n by v1, here it is minus n by v1 will get cancelled. Here it is minus 1 by u, here it is plus 1 by v, and therefore it will be written as 1 by v minus 1 by u. Now, from this relation, if u is equal to infinity, that is object is placed at infinity, u equal to infinity, its image will be formed at its focus, that is v will be equal to f, and therefore if we put the values here, value of phi is equal to f, value of u equal to infinity, this term will get cancelled, it will become 0, and therefore 1 by f we will get, and therefore 1 by f will be equal to n minus 1 into 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2, equation number 3. This equation represents Lens-Makers equation, that is 1 by f equal to n minus 1 into 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. And now let us go for next point, that is the dispersion of light and prisms. Dispersion of light and prisms. We know that the refractive index of material depends upon the frequency of the wave, that is light, and increases with the frequency. Hence, refractive index of light is different for different colors. If the color of the light is different, then its refractive index will be different. As a result, for an obliquely incident ray, the angles of refraction are also different for each color, and they separate, that is disperse, as they travel along different directions. So after refraction, all these rays of light which are having different colors will travel along different directions, and therefore the phenomenon of separation of white light into its constituent colors is called as dispersion of light. The phenomenon of separation of white light into its constituent colors is called as dispersion of light. And therefore, in order to explain this dispersion due to some of these surfaces as well as prism, let us consider this first diagram. In the first diagram, this represents the transparent medium. So this will be the plane surface here, that is the transparent medium. First of all, here there is vacuum. Its refractive index will be taken as now suppose 1, or it will be considered as the rarer medium as compared with this denser medium. That is, this white light which is polychromatic, that is having large number of wavelengths, that is different colors. So such type of white light, a ray of light, is obliquely incident on this plane surface. When it is obliquely incident, at that time it is first traveling through rarer medium, then it will enter into denser medium, therefore it will bend this towards normal. So this dotted line will represent normal. This will represent direction of incidence. So instead of traveling along this direction, after refraction, this ray of light will bend towards normal, and therefore there will be separation of white light into different colors. Here only two extreme colors are shown, that is red and violet. So here deviation of this red color and deviation of this violet color is shown. So after refraction, these rays will travel along this direction. Red will travel along this direction, violet will travel along this direction, and therefore some angular dispersion will be produced between these two rays. All other rays will travel between red and violet colors. Only here two extreme colors, red and violet, are shown here. All other Fibgoyer, that is all other colors, 5 different colors, will be in between red and violet. So here there will be angular dispersion between red and violet colors. Then let us go for second diagram. If you consider any denser medium such as a glass slab, if any ray of light, that is white light, again it is obliquely incident on this surface of that glass slab, then it will get refracted at this point. This angle will be angle between normal and incident ray, therefore it is I. Now when it gets refracted, at that time this ray of light is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium, therefore again that ray of light will bend towards the normal. This dotted line will represent the direction of incidence. So after refraction, red color is traveling along this path, violet light is traveling along this path, and therefore the path are different. And as previously discussed, when there is refraction of the polychromatic light like white light, the angle of refraction will be different for different colors. Therefore here this R will represent the angle of refraction for the red color. So this is the angle of refraction for the red color, that is angle between this refracted ray and this normal. Similarly for the violet color, this is the direction of propagation of the violet color. So angle between this ray of light and this normal, that will be nothing but the angle of refraction for violet color. So here if you consider RR and RV, then both are having different measures, that is after refraction the angle of refraction for different colors of light will be different. Now when these rays reach to this opposite surface, at that time they will emerge out, and therefore this will represent the emergent ray. Now if we measure the perpendicular distances between the direction of incidence and this red light, then it will be LR. Then if you measure the perpendicular distance between the direction of incidence and this violet light, it will be L phi. if you measure the perpendicular distance between red and violet colors, it is LVR. So all these three distances will represent the lateral dispersion, lateral displacement of these rays of light. So these are the perpendicular distances between the emergent rays and the direction of incidence. So here there will be, for red color, it is lateral dispersion or lateral shift will be there. Then for violet color, this will be LV, and between red and violet color, this will be LVR. That will be the lateral dispersion or lateral shift between different colors. For all other colors, again, the same lateral shift or dispersion will be shown in between red and violet colors. And now let us go for next point, that will be regarding the prism. So refraction due to the prism or dispersion due to prism. We know that the prism is having three rectangular surfaces which forms a triangle. Then the surfaces incline with each other and producing refraction are called as refracting surfaces. Then surface which does not produce any refraction is called as base of that prism. Any section of the prism perpendicular to its base is called as principal section of the prism. Then the following figures will show now the dispersion of monochromatic as well as polychromatic, that is white light. So if you consider any prism, these are the two inclined surfaces of that prism which will produce refraction, and therefore these are the refracting surfaces. Then opposite to it, BC, that will be the base of the prism since it is not producing any refraction. Then this angle A between the two refracting surfaces will be called as angle of prism. So that is the angle of prism. So all the three surfaces will be rectangular in shape. And now if you consider any section of the prism which will be perpendicular to this base of the prism, which is called as principal section of the prism. Now in this case, let us consider first the monochromatic ray of light, that is having single color, which is obliquely incident on this surface AB. So without any refraction, it must travel along this dotted line. Along this dotted line it must travel, but due to the refraction due to this first surface AB, it will travel along this path. So this is the refracted ray. And then when it strikes on the surface AC, that is on the second refracting surface, it will emerge out from it, and therefore it will travel along this path. And therefore if we measure the angle between direction of incidence and the direction of emergence, then this total angle will give us the angular dispersion. So if any monochromatic ray of light is obliquely incident on the prism, it will produce the angular dispersion. So here, first of all, ray of light is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium, therefore it will bend towards normal. Then it is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, it will move away, it will bend away from the normal. Similarly, if you consider the fourth diagram, then in this diagram, instead of monochromatic ray of light, we have considered a white light, which is polychromatic ray of light. It will be having different colors. Now when such type of white light is allowed to incident obliquely on this refracting surface AB, again refraction will take place, and therefore during this refraction, now it will get splitted into different colors. Again red and violet are shown here, all other colors will be lying in between red and violet. These two rays will travel along their different paths. Then when they are striking on this surface AC, again they will emerge out of the prism, and now the angular dispersion will be produced here. This angular dispersion produced will be different for different colors. So this angle represents delta R, that is angular dispersion for red color. This total angle will represent the deviation for the violet color. So delta R and delta phi are the angle of deviation for red and violet colors respectively, which will show the angular dispersion, that is delta phi minus delta R. Delta phi minus delta R will now here represent the angular dispersion between two extreme colors, red and violet, in a white light. So here, as there was only one ray of light, it is monochromatic light, therefore only one angular dispersion is shown, but here it is white light, and therefore for different colors we will get different angle of deviation, that is delta R, delta V. For all other colors, again we will get different angles of deviation. So this will be regarding the dispersion of light and prism.